back looking
Hi,
cool.
everybody. This is Sammy Daniel with Better Days Rain. My guest, Sean Daniel, is with me.
Your guest. That's awesome.
And we're going to do kind of a Q&A on myths about recovery that may or may not need to change. So we're just going to kind of throw some things out. I'm going to ask some questions, and then he's going to give me an answer, and then I'm going to give him what I would say would be my answer.
All right.
You ready?
All right.
Okay. So a myth that I hear a lot in the rooms is you have to hit rock bottom in order to change. Do you feel like that is absolutely truth?
Myth.
A myth?
Myth.
Okay,
I'm gonna call it a myth.
Okay.
Like I have seen people literally like look at their bank account and be like, "Oh, I spent $400 on alcohol. I have a problem," and stop.
True.
So, you know, and then you have a person like me who like literally had to have everything stripped away from him, piece by piece, one traumatic event after another, you know, before I shifted focus, right?
Okay.
So really it's just about a mindset shift, recognizing I have a problem, recognizing I have a problem, and then becoming willing to fix that problem.
Right.
You know, so a rock bottom looks different to a lot of people. Some people just have one rock bottom and that's it. Right? Me, I had about 15, 20 of them.
Yeah, me too.
Because like I kept learning that I can just keep digging that hole deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Right? Some people don't have to go through that. And what I think is really cool is when somebody doesn't even have to like do it at all.
Right.
Like when they were just born with that gift of recognizing something's not good for me.
This might be a problem. Let me stop this before it gets too far out of hand.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And
that's amazing.
Kudos to them, because bless my heart, I didn't get that.
Right.
But good for them that they did, because I hit several rock bottoms and then kind of dug deeper into those rock bottoms and then had to claw my way out of those rock bottoms.
Deeper the hole, the steeper the climb.
And it wasn't just a one and done for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that probably this last time was definitely more influential, or what word would I, let's see.
So let me ask you something. Like what influenced the shift? So not necessarily like what happened, right?
Right.
But what in your mind triggered this has got to change?
I don't want to live like that. Like I knew towards the end that I did not want, that is not how I wanted to live my life. Like I was miserable towards the end, and I was scared. I didn't know how to get out of what I was into. I didn't want to go to prison. I didn't want to go to jail. It's scary. Like looking at some big, hard things, you know? And I don't want to live like that life.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I've told you that. Like it's not my norm. It wasn't a part of how I grew up. It was very foreign to me.
Right.
And even though I experienced it, and I don't regret the experience that I got, once I was out, I was done. I didn't want to live like that no more. It was over for me.
Right.
So that's kind of how I got there. All right. How about this myth? Recovery is absolutely miserable and boring. Because you have to give up all the drinking and the drugs and all the fun stuff.
I think it starts off as boredom, right? Because when we put the substance down, right? When we put that obsession down, there's like a huge void there.
It is.
Right? Like a huge void. And not knowing how to fill that void, right, creates a lot of boredom. And it creates a lot of loneliness, because a lot of times you got to get rid of a lot of people, even if it's people you care about, you know, like sometimes it's what's required.
Right.
Right. And when I say that, I'm not saying like you got to get rid of people because they're bad people.
Right.
Right. It's whatever's not for me is against me.
That's right.
Right. Whatever's not building me up is breaking me down.
Whatever's not adding to my life.
Whatever's not adding to your life.
And value to my
right?
life, I've got to let go.
And for me, that was a ton of people.
Yeah,
like I had to let go of a ton of people.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was just, in sobriety and just calling people, hey, what's up? Like I literally had to let go of just about everybody I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Cut everybody off.
And I remember this last time, peace was so unfamiliar, so very unfamiliar to me for so many years that I literally did not know how to sit and be still.
Yeah.
Without feeling like there's something I need to do, or there's somewhere I need to go, or something needs to be happening. And I know you felt that too, because we had those conversations.
Well, I think that's where like discovering your purpose or your mission comes in, right?
Finding something to keep you occupied.
Something to keep you busy, bro. And a lot of people, go directly back into the work field. I was very thankful that I had come to this realization that money was just as bad as an addiction as drugs was.
Absolutely.
Right? So for me, going back to school was the best option, right? Because I was able to use my school money to pay for my stay at treatment and cover my basic necessities.
Right.
But I never had enough money to go out to go use or go, hang out at a bar or, go to the plug's house.
And you, I know you've told me it was probably better in the beginning that you didn't have a whole lot of money to be able to do that with.
Absolutely.
Because you would have probably twisted off
almost instantly. You know what I'm saying? Or went back into gambling and things like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so taking that long break of learning how to respect money, right? But like literally like learning how to live without.
Right.
Learning how to live without some of those things that I needed in my active addiction was good for me.
Right.
Right? Because it taught me responsibility. It gave me discipline. I had to have a lot of discipline. I had to make sure my bills were paid and I didn't have a job.
Right.
So I had to make that money stretch, and then I also had my personal growth that I needed to go through of learning how to, build without that substance in my life.
Yes, and I think that was very beneficial for you.
And that took long. That took a long time.
It took a couple of years.
We're talking like 2 years, probably longer than that. If you took my 14 months of treatment plus the 2 years, we're getting closer to like 3.5 years that I spent just working on me. I wasn't working on. I mean, granted, I wish I would have been making it, but like I understand now that like. That was probably necessary.
It was probably God's plan.
It was probably
for you,
like
for sure.
He did. Like
I know that I was kind of out of my element, not having everything I needed to be But I agree with you that I think it was necessary because it made us more grateful.
Absolutely.
I know it did me.
No, absolutely.
Did it bring on a lot of stress? Abso-freaking-lutely. It brought on more stress than I can even put into words. But it made me grateful for when that God showed up and things kind of worked out, or especially for that family member that,
Well, things got easier
cousin.
over time.
It did. And we both grew.
Yep.
We both, and growth sometimes is painful. It's not easy peasy.
I think growth should be.
It should be painful. Absolutely. I agree today. But I think it also helped us focus on our spirituality. Like we really had, I know for me, I really had to connect with my God.
Yeah.
I really did, because there were times I was literally on my knees saying, God, please, I don't know what to do. I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. Like how am I going to get through? And over a period of time, my faith built even stronger. Even stronger. All right. So here's another myth. Relapse means you failed horribly.
No.
Okay.
Relapse is part of it. Like, I mean, I'm not saying there ain't nobody who's ever done it one and done. Me personally, I've never met anyone who's done it one and done. And I know a lot of people in recovery. I've never seen somebody just take one shot at it and just totally like not only put whatever they're using down, but actually make moves to fix their life.
Right.
right? Because I can still absolutely be sober and practice the same old bad behaviors,
Right.
and do the same old bad things, right? So to me, that's a relapse as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That lifestyle. If I'm falling back into that lifestyle, I'm not using, but I'm still being a dredge on society.
Oh man, I have seen this over and over and over again, like with different people. Okay, so you're not picking up alcohol, you're not picking up drugs,
but you're still not doing nothing.
Not complete. You're still relapsing in your social life, or you're still relapsing with men or women, or you're still relapsing in this area. Like it's got to be a whole balance. It can't just be just because I'm not drinking and drugging.
Well, that's a lot of reason why I don't give a sober date.
Me too.
When I talk in the rooms and stuff, I don't give a sober date. And there's a couple reasons, right? One is I'm really big on affirmations.
Absolutely.
So the things I would tell myself, that I would speak about myself,
you want them as positive as possible.
Almost always came to I'd manifest it, right? So for a long time, I always introduced myself as an addict, right? But I always viewed myself as an addict.
Right. And I get
like
what you're
there's
saying, because for me it was a negative context.
It was it carried negative. A super negative, connotation to it.
Like, hi, I'm a drunk.
When I would introduce myself, I would never introduce myself with any type of pride.
Right.
It's like self pride.
Yes.
It was hard to love myself. Introducing myself, and it took a mentor. We sat down one day in his office, and he looked at me. He said, bro, how much sober time you got? I said, man, I got about a year. And he said, let me ask you something. Do you feel like an addict anymore? And I said, no. And he said, bro, stop calling yourself one.
Right.
Just stop calling yourself one.
Right.
And see how it changes your outlook.
Man, it made a huge difference.
As soon as I quit identifying as an addict, it almost opened the door for even more growth to start coming through. Right? Because I was no longer looking at myself as that beat down shell of a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was stepping into my new identity.
Yes.
And when you really get down to, brass tacks, our addiction has become part of our identity in the past. Right. And so that's one of the things we absolutely have to break in recovery.
Because we don't identify as that today.
No.
Like we feel like we are on the journey of recovery. And so when you told me that, and then I started listening to you in the rooms, I was like, man, yeah, because every time I say that, I feel horrible.
Horrible.
Because that's related to my past. But yet today, I'm doing so much better that I don't want to say that. And I know I've heard some people say, I'm a recovered addict, or I'm a recovered alcoholic, or whatever. But I don't feel like we're always ever recovered completely. Like I feel like it's a whole life journey.
I think there's always that possibility of slip, right?
Oh, yes.
Like slip, stumble, hit the curb, trip, whatever you want to call it.
Train.
Right. But I mean, ultimately, like my thought process on this, and we generally come into recovery because we're trying to save some part of ourselves.
Yes.
Right. It's like a you versus you program.
Yes.
And we're trying to save that version of ourselves that literally just needs to die.
Yes.
You need to kill him.
Yes.
Right?
It needs to go all the way out.
In a you versus you program, somebody has to lose. You have to be willing to lose.
Yes.
Right? Because that's where you find all your freedom. All your freedom comes from giving that old ideology, the way you were living, that lifestyle. It comes from giving all that up completely. That's right. And so when I came into recovery, I did like that deconstruction where I was like, okay, I'm just going to stop. Altogether stop, and I'm going to rebuild myself from ground zero.
Yes.
I'm going to get obsessed with it. Like I'm going to get obsessed with personal growth and becoming a new person.
Yes.
Altogether. Because the person I was not a good person. It was not a good person at all. And I needed to make a dramatic change. So it was really just about killing myself. And we talk about
dying to our old selves.
Well, and that's so, and I brought this up in the room the other day. Everybody comes in there trying to save yourself. Remember, God requires our death. Right? He requires you to die to yourself.
But
right?
So many don't understand that right at first.
No, and it's a hard thing. It's a hard
thing to kind of
like to grasp, right? So we talk about that daily surrender. We talk about dying to ourselves, but really, what that is if I'm living in my past, right, and something traumatic happened to me
Mm-hmm.
and I'm dwelling on it,
Mm-hmm.
what does that create?
Ooh, bad stuff. Bad juju.
Depression.
Depression. You're lashing
Anxiety,
at yourself. Yes.
you know,
You're
all
like,
these
oh my
negative,
God, I'm never going to be
self-loathing,
better. Yes.
right? So,
yes.
but then say something I did a week ago was really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
What am I filling my head up with then?
Positivity.
Ah, really? So it's pride, right?
Well, yeah.
It's
is pride
pride.
in reverse.
But today, I don't want to be a blessing blocker,
Right.
right? So whether it was a good thing or bad thing,
You're
no
going
matter
to
what,
be grateful.
put it in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone, right? Because I want to be present for the blessings that are going to happen today.
Right.
And if I'm worried about what happened last week, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, I'm
still living in the
I'm not
past.
receptive to what's going on today and tomorrow.
Makes sense.
Right? God's an entity that's always moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so today, like when I do my personal inventory, right, it's what's either brought me to a halt or what's bringing me back. Because those are the things I need to fix.
Yes.
Right? Those are the things I
Yes.
need to fix because I need to be in a constant state of moving forward.
Yes. And so that brings me to a good point that I wrote down was that actually relapse, I used to beat myself to a pulp over relapsing. But now I look at it as it kind of shows you where healing still needs to happen. Where things need to be worked on. Like if you dig real deep, or for me, I had to dig real deep, like what actually is going on here? Like I had to do deep reflection into myself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I can tell you, like, if you can't figure out what's going wrong with you and you relapse, well, that relapse has a way of teaching it to
Boy,
you.
I'm telling you,
And
like
real
with
quick,
a big,
because I can honestly say through all my
piece of humble
relapses, I
pie.
learned valuable pieces of information through every
Absolutely.
one of them.
And I want to say this: relapse does not erase the growth that you have made. It doesn't erase the knowledge that you have learned. It's just you lose a little time, but it gives you another opportunity to rise up, you know, and change, make changes where changes are needed. That's how I look at it today.
I think
And that's what I
relapse
tell
happens
people.
with lack of action,
It does.
right? So my last relapse, I had this huge head of knowledge, right? But it was my complacency. It was my stinking thinking that brought me back into my addiction, right? It was me not taking action in what I knew. If I would have took action on what I knew, that relapse probably wouldn't have happened.
Absolutely.
So it's not about knowing everything. It's about applying what you know.
Yes.
And through applying what you know will keep you sober.
Right.
You know, you can walk into a million AA meetings and listen and share. But if you don't walk out that door and apply what you've learned to your life,
In some sort of action.
it's a waste.
That's right.
It's you know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing.
Absolutely.
It's like you never did it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like going to college and not getting a degree.
Mm-hmm.
It's a waste
It is.
because you're not applying it to anything in your life. So recovery to me is about application.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking the lesson that I learned in that day or that week, or you know what I'm saying, and applying it in a way in my life. And that's where sponsors, mentors, coaches, you know, people who've had a little bit more time or even gone through the things that you've gone through can be that higher power for you in that moment to say, hey, this is what that application looks like.
Yes. Let's change our perspective. Let's change the way we, our habits. Let's change, you know, it's just, it's change is inevitable.
You know,
Honest to goodness, if you really look at life in general, change is inevitable in this life. Things are going to change all the time. So if we could learn to embrace that and say, okay, maybe I need to look at this a different way, it would go a little better.
Yeah. Well, no, and I'd also like to point out that there's a spiritual element that we're all missing in
Amen.
addiction.
Amen.
Right. And I'm affirming, like I couldn't even begin to fathom the concept of God or spirituality in active addiction.
Oh,
right.
no.
Because that addiction at that point is louder than anything.
Yes.
Right. I put my addiction before my relationships, before my kids, before my
Yes.
family, before anything
Yes.
and everything. That addiction came first.
Yes.
Right. So, but putting that away opened up a door for some spiritual guidance.
Yes.
Right. And I had a brain fart just now. Like it's a complete brain fart. But no, like it really does. It opens up the door to learning what God, like purpose, you know what I'm saying, and how God moves.
Because he has a plan for each. Before we were ever born, he knew us.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say now.
Okay.
Hold on. So
right.
I have this theory, right, that God works through everybody that we come in contact with, right? And when we're in addiction, right, we don't have trust. Because we're with other people who are in addiction, right? So we're not necessarily in good company, right? And you can even argue that and say in the world we're not in good company often,
correct?
Right? But when you come in, like when you go to AA room, they talk about a higher power, right? And everybody always says, "Well, my higher power is God." Like God is in every single one of us. That's the part of the Holy Spirit that was endowed in you before you were born, right? So to me, a higher power can be a mentor, a sponsor, a coach. It can be a teacher, right? It's your boss. It's your fellow workmates. It's your teammates. It's people who have been there, done that, and are trying to help you out. Like all those things, in essence, are a higher power.
As you're growing.
Because I can learn from those things.
Right.
And that's what I need to do. I need to be able to learn from someone, because if I could have figured this out on my own, I would have
done it already.
Right? If I knew how to go live a good life and get a good job and do all the things, I would have. But I have to take myself to a learning curve. So at some point, your higher power has to be someone you can learn in, right? But you also have to trust in those people that they're going to put you in the right direction.
And they talk about the agnostic chapter in recovery or whatever, in AA or NA. But really and truly, like if as you're talking, you start with the mentor or whatever, and then you learn as you grow. You learn to get to where that spiritual connection is so strong. Like you're open-minded to seeing that there is something out there.
Well, so you just did yourself. It, right? So we talk about sight. Coming out of addiction, people will only believe what they can see.
Absolutely.
If I can't see it, if I haven't seen somebody else do it, it's not possible. I know because I was one of those people. Right? I was one of those people that sat there in that self-loathing acceptance of this is my life. It's never going to change. The streets are going to kill me, or I'm going to end up in prison, or I'm going to kill myself with an overdose. Right? I was one of those people. I didn't see a future. I had to see it.
Yes.
I needed to see it. Somebody else do it. Then once I saw somebody else do it, now we can talk about believing in something I can't see. Right? Because now that I've seen somebody else make those leaps and bounds, you know, now it's in my soul, like, okay, maybe I can do it too. Maybe I can
do the same.
Maybe I can make that same type of recovery.
Exactly.
Right? And so you build with that. Start with something people can see, and then as life starts getting better and you start embracing that essence of gratitude, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's when God works on his own. Like,
hey, amen.
Like when I had my God moment, God said, I need you to help people get sober so they can hear me. He didn't tell me to be a pastor. He didn't tell me to go out and start preaching. He said, man, just get people sober so I can do my job.
Which leads me into my next myth is people thinking they can do this all by themselves, when it really and truly, healing requires connection and support, because honest to goodness, we were not designed by God to do life alone, ever. Was that ever in his plan?
You know, I highly recommend you get some help, right?
Absolutely.
Like from somewhere, somehow, some way. But again, like I guarantee you there's somebody watching right now that says, I did it, and probably did.
And you know what? There are very few and far between that do. But for most, probably 90 to 95% of people, they can't do it on their own. If they could have, they would have.
I couldn't.
I couldn't. I definitely couldn't. And for those that are able to do it absolutely on their own and did it, good for them. Like,
dude, that's some power, bro.
I commend you, because I sure couldn't.
No, I couldn't at all.
And they're very few.
And I'm not even talking like I needed 1, 2, or 3 people. Like it took a lot of people.
Oh yes.
Collaborating together to like literally lift me up and start pouring into me, right? Because pain just taught me bitterness. Pain taught me how to give up. Pain taught me I could take a beating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? It made it to where I wasn't scared of punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Like you couldn't scare me. In active addiction, like jail was a break. You couldn't
Very
scare
true.
me with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You couldn't scare me with
It
beatings.
was a reset.
Like you couldn't scare me with those things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I didn't start getting scared to lose stuff until I started building. Now that I have stuff, now I'm like, I don't want to lose what I have.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now I've leveled up and I've got some things now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't want to lose it.
True.
So it's like security.
True.
It's like insurance on my recovery.
Absolutely.
The more I gain in life, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, the less I want to go out and mess it up.
Mhm. Okay, tell me what you think about this myth. If I still struggle, I'm not changing.
Boy, if you ain't struggling, you ain't changing.
For real.
No, and I tell people this all the time, man. Comfort is killing you.
Mm-hmm.
Your comfort zone, wherever you're feeling comfortable, safe, like it will suffocate you to no end.
Gives you false
Now,
hope.
I'm not saying don't rest.
Oh, no,
There's
no.
a difference, right?
Right.
So you absolutely need rest at times. When the body's tired, when the mind's tired, you
Mhm.
absolutely need rest,
Mhm.
right? But if change is inevitable, you said it right,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about getting comfortable with change. It's getting comfortable being uncomfortable,
That's
right?
right.
Because in all that uncomfort, that's where all my growth is at,
Absolutely.
right? At 40 years old, I had to go back to college.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't my proudest moment to be sitting in a room with a bunch of teenagers going back to school, and like these
Right.
kids are running laps around me.
Right.
I'm just like, you know,
What?
and so, but it was something I had to do. I had to get uncomfortable with it, right? Because that's where all my growth was at.
Uh-huh.
I had to get comfortable starting at the bottom and working my way to the top. I had to
Right.
get comfortable with doing lots and lots of service work,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now I'm even elevating my service work now to a whole new level. And that's bringing a whole different level of uncomfort because I'm like, okay, I'm in a world I don't know nothing about, but I'm about to
But
figure
I'm
it
gonna
out.
try.
I'm about to figure it out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So today I welcome that struggle,
Right.
right? I welcome challenges because I know that whatever that challenge is, whatever that struggle is, that's where my win's at.
Mm-hmm. And I know just by watching your growth, and I'm sure you probably see it in me too. In the beginning, when we started this over 2 years ago or a little more, getting uncomfortable was very difficult.
Yeah,
It was very difficult. So in the beginning, you take one little thing at a time, right? But today, I feel like you and I both can handle a bigger chunk of uncomfortableness than we did in the
That
very
was that spiritual. For me, it was that spiritual element, right?
Right.
So I got super uncomfortable. I did have accountability around me all the time, which is another huge piece of recovery.
Absolutely.
Right. I have accountability everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because there's nowhere that's 100% safe. So you could possibly run into someone anywhere.
Anywhere.
Right. You could possibly be in the presence of somebody using anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it don't matter where I go. There is someone there
around.
that's
Mhm.
going to check me and be like, all right, bro, either we need to leave, you need to stay away. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I always have accountability with me.
Right.
It's a critical part of my recovery.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Because once you step outside of that, someone being able to hold you accountable, you're left to your own devices again. You're left to your own
Absolutely.
stinking thinking. And by gosh, it will get you.
Right?
It will
it's
get
in
you.
them fleeting moments of weakness.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time I was in treatment, and it was the first time I took a pass, right? A weekend pass. And I wasn't gone 3-4 hours.
And you already.
I wasn't gone 3-4 hours. I went over to a friend's house, and they were passing it around, right? And I'm talking, blah, 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 because I like to talk. So I'm just talking, and it got past me. I didn't even look at it. I'm like, boop, bow.
Right.
And I hit it. And
Yeah.
right after I was done, I was like,
Oh, man.
like, I just didn't even think about it. Like, it's that quick. It can happen that fast.
That quick.
And then I'm on my way back to treatment facility, and counselor called me. He's like, I'm sitting here waiting on you with the drug test. I was like, oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's accountability is important.
It is.
Accountability is super important.
And I'm going to say this is how I feel about it. If you're not struggling and you're not struggling and growing is messy, it's uncomfortable, it's a battle every day. It feels crazy, but it's beautiful. You're moving forward And over a period of time, it becomes a peaceful thing. Like you say, we welcome it. You
Absolutely.
welcome it. Like, oh boy, okay, now I'm feeling uncomfortable, so I'm about to step up and grow.
Well, when you
Level up.
realize that's where your level up's at, right? Not
you're
only
like, okay.
not only is it not depressing anymore, but now I can face this thing with joy and gratitude.
That's right.
Because I know that's where my win's at.
That's right. Okay.
Like
here
I know
we
it's
go,
where my
God.
next
I
level
see
up
you.
is. So
That's
I
right.
can face it with a smile.
Absolutely.
You know, and so to me that's huge. When I can face things in gratitude, right, versus like dreading the day. You know, like I used to, when I first got into recovery, I would dread the day.
Right.
Like something happened at 9 a.m., it crashed out my whole
The
day.
whole day.
Like I'm done.
Absolutely.
I'm going home. Like I'm not doing nothing.
Yep.
Like
I'm over it already.
I'm over it already.
Can't handle it.
And today, man, something happens. I'm like, come on, let's go. Come on, what you got? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do this.
Okay, so here's another myth. Do you believe that once you fix your life, you'll feel better? Like fixing the outside parameters.
Once you fix your life, it'll feel better.
Like, do you feel like starting from the outside is the way to go?
No.
Okay, talk to me about that.
No. Recovery ain't about everybody else.
No.
It ain't about everybody else. It ain't about the people in your home.
No.
It ain't about the dog. It's not about nothing. It is about you.
And if you're trying to make it that.
It is about you. And I see people all the time. I got sober for this. I got sober for that. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Man, I got sober for me.
Yeah.
Right? Because here's the fact about it. I don't care if you got sober for your kids. If you didn't get sober for you and you're not okay spiritually, physically, emotionally.
It's gonna mess up.
Right? If I'm not okay, I'm not good for nobody. Right? If I'm not okay, you're not okay. Why? Because I'm putting my negative energy on you.
That's right.
So I always have to be working on me. I have to be building me, right?
Yes.
Because we're like balls of energy floating around. And sometimes when we get latch onto that negative energy, we start projecting that negative energy. You know what I mean? So like today, like I have to be on top of me.
I know in my first recovery, before the this last 2 years, I was definitely trying to get sober for everybody else. For everybody else to get the get backs. You know, I wanted a better relationship with my kids. I wanted back in my family. I wanted this. I wanted that. But this last 2 years, I have healed and grown so much. And I now realize that it absolutely you have to have mindset changes. You have to have, your perception has to change. Your habits have to change. Your actions have to change. Each area of life, once you start making those changes inside, it starts flowing out in every other aspect of your life.
Well, when you start getting sober for other people, you're victim to other people's expectations.
Absolutely, and you'll always fall because
you'll always fall.
I literally did it.
People will always find a flaw.
Oh yeah,
always.
For sure.
Like, and they will see that one flaw, no matter how good you've done. They will see that one flaw or hold that one flaw.
Yes.
Right. So when it comes to getting sober for other people, you almost always find yourself unsatisfied with the result.
100%.
Because you don't, for one, you don't know their expectations. They haven't said, these are my expectations of you, right? But then they have to hold themselves to an expectation.
Right.
So you're basing your recovery off of somebody else.
Yes.
And you can't do that. Like, you just can't do it. Now,
I know that
Now you can do this, right? If I want to be sober in front of my kids, family, all the things, right? If I just focus on me, set my own expectations, focus on my own growth, I get all that back.
Absolutely.
In time.
Because I remember, and we were dating during this time, but I went to back home to where my stomping grounds alone. And I was doing it to be around my kids, to be around my family, to be a part of. And I absolutely relapsed. Yeah. Because my anxiety was so through the roof, and I was not okay inside. And I wasn't prepared to handle the anxiety, the stress, and the oh my God, what ifs. And I relapsed.
Well, and people don't have to accept your amends.
No, they don't.
They absolutely don't.
They absolutely have every right not to.
You know.
But I didn't realize then what I know now is, or even further back, that I had to do so much more work inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
So much more work. And it starts with you. It doesn't start outside. It starts inside.
It's
100% inside.
It's a selfish thing to. It's selfishly selfless.
Yes.
Right? Because I have to become selfish about my growth, who I am, so that way I can be of any good to other people.
Okay. So in closing, if you had to name one thing that you had to unlearn that truly changed your life, what would it be?
One thing I had to unlearn.
Yeah.
How to hotwire a car. No, I'm just kidding. No. Really, the one thing I had to unlearn, it was that, like my life I was completely, I had fallen into this acceptance. Right, all things start with acceptance, right? But I can tell you, acceptance can keep you beat down as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So I had this image of myself that I had failed in everything.
Yes.
And that, lost my kids.
Yes.
Had no type of career. I'm a multiple felon. I'm homeless. I'm a heroin junkie. Like all these things. And I had fell into this self-acceptance that's how life was always going to be.
Always going to be. Right.
And when I got that way, I never desired to get out of it.
Yeah.
Right. I was just living the day to day until hopefully one day it just crashed out. Right. Hopefully one day I just died.
Right.
Right.
No, I get it.
Now, God had to teach me something. Right. And I've heard a lot of people say this. I just want to keep going until I die. Well, what happens if you don't?
Right.
Right. What happens if you don't?
You're gonna have to face
because that's
something.
what God did to me. Right. God didn't let me die. Like he brought me to that point a few times, but he's like, nah, I'm gonna bring you back for a little bit. I'm gonna punch on you a little bit more.
You
no.
can take a little more today.
You know what I'm saying? Like I kept getting that psych. Gotcha. You know what I mean? Like it was like a cynical little joke. So, but the fact that life doesn't have to be that way.
That's right.
Right. And that whatever I want to accomplish is not only not impossible, but it's probable, and I can do it very quickly if I start making the right choices.
Right. So what I had to unlearn was the self-beating. I kind of beat myself up all the time. And I did not feel like I was ever worthy of redemption.
Yeah.
And so I had to really unlearn that. And I had to learn to love myself truly, wholly, absolutely 100%. Like I am created in God's image. I am divinely his daughter.
Yep.
And so I had to unlearn those concepts that I kept putting into my own mind because I had messed up so much.
Right.
And so once I was able to do that and like really see me for who I truly was created to be, I got better.
Right on.
I'd like to close this with a prayer. Is that okay?
Tear it up, rip it up.
All right. So audience, I'm going to say a little prayer. If you'll bow with me, please.
Well, I always raise my head up,
Well, I have to read this.
Oh, I know you have to read it.
All.
But what I always say, so I know, and I started doing this different. It started working, right?
Okay.
So I know we bow our head in respect, right?
Right.
But lately I've been cranking it back because I need God to hear all my prayers. You know what I'm saying? So usually I started praying louder and I cranked that head back so maybe you can hear
I
me.
got you.
Just a little bit.
You. All right. Dear Father God, please help us release the lies we've believed about ourselves and recovery and replace them with truth, grace, and strength. Remind us that we are not alone, that we are still growing, and that our story is not over. Guide us each day, Lord, to walk in healing, grace, and faith. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a great weekend.